Hi, this is Tony. I'm going live. This is my first live ever. And the theme for this live is going to be imperfection, imperfect. Why am I doing that? Because a lot of my coaching clients it seems like when we have an idea, we create a plan and we plan the plan and we plan to down to the T and we're just waiting for that plan to become perfect. So we have the perfect plan so we can execute it. But what ends up happening is no plan is perfect. That's the real world. There's no such thing as a perfect plan, and so we never take action. Or if we take action, let's say we get the perfect plan and then we take action, right? And then we learn from that action and we evaluate the results of those actions. Well, if you waited for your plan to be perfect before you took action, and now we're stuck with a plan that doesn't work, right? So what am I saying is that there is no perfect plan except the one that gets you taking action as quickly as possible. And again, we learn from that action and then we evaluate that action and then we can tweak our plan. That's the good plan. Another thing is we seem to make a big mistake regarding our goals. And that is we seem to equate our goals with our life. And they're not the same thing. Our goals are simply things we do in life, things we want to achieve in order to make our life better, in order to make our life more rad, in order to make it more enjoyable. For example, one of my goals is to have an Airstream. That's just a personal goal of mine, is I'd like to have an Airstream and maybe live in it like a tiny house. And that's a real goal. And but that is not my life. That is a way to make my lifestyle more enjoyable, right? And so when we think about our lives, Tony Robbins says one of the foundational pillars of happiness is progress. And you need two things to make progress. One, you need to know where you're going, right? And two, you need radical acceptance of where you are right now. So let's say your goal is to, you want to be happy, you want to make progress. If you don't know what your goal is, you're not going to make any progress. So let's say your goal is to, go drive to Colorado. All right, drive to Colorado by July 1st. All right, now you have a goal. Now you know where you're going, but you still can't make progress unless you know where you're at, and you just do it without judgment. Are you in Florida? Or are you in Seattle, Washington? Or are you in Outer Mongolia? Or St. Petersburg, Russia? All of those plans are going to look radically different depending on where you are, if you want to get to Colorado. But once you know that I'm living in Outer Mongolia and I want to get to Colorado, now you can make progress because you know where you're going and you know where you are now. And so I'm a member of Impact Theory University, and we're doing a 90-day challenge right now. And my 90-day challenge, the challenge that I've chose is to create a course on how to identify your ideal lifestyle, which is where you want to go. Your ideal lifestyle is your life, right? It's your life customized to you. How do you want to live? And that's the first part of it. The second part is how to set goals and plan to achieve those goals in order to make that life more enjoyable, right? So what I intend to do is I intend to go live over the next 5 weeks and share the 5 steps with you. And at the end of all the lives, at the end of the 5 weeks, I'll get all your comments and see if I can make this course better for you. I call it the grand plan. The grand plan is how to identify your ideal lifestyle and how to achieve it, right? How many times have you gone into a bookstore and got a self-help book and read the whole book, and you're like all excited and all motivated, but you're like, okay, now what? What do I do? What do I do now? What do I do tomorrow? What do I do the day after that? Well, the Grand Plan is all about that, and it's not hard. It's really not hard, but it does take some self-reflection, identifying your values, identifying what Simon Sinek calls your why, and you know, I'll help you through all that. It's really not that complicated, and with the people I've been coaching, their lives have been transformed. It's become bigger than the sum of its parts. Their lives have become transformed because they know where they're going. Here's the first idea, the first concept. It's about games. You play games, video games, card games. When I think of games, I think of Monopoly. But the main idea is, what makes a game hard? I messed that up. See, this is imperfect. And what makes a game enjoyable? What makes it one of the things that is required to make a game enjoyable is that it has to be hard, right? And so a game is no fun if it's not hard. I could play Go Fish with my granddaughter, for example, Faye, and we could play Go Fish, and the game would be fun because I get to spend time with her, we get to bond, and we talk, and I find out about her life, and that's what makes it fun. But the game itself, Go Fish, that's no fun for me. It's too easy. So what we can infer from that is that it's not the hard things that are terrible. It's the hard things without knowing where you're going or why you're doing it, right? It's the hard things without progress, right? And we're talking about you can do hard things for other people, and that's very rewarding. But if it's zero benefit to you, even if it's zero benefit to you, it's not rewarding. It's not fun, right? Sometimes you do something altruistically for somebody, and that's rewarding. We are rewarded neurochemically and physiologically when we contribute good things to a group, and so when we do things in service of others, we do get a reward. So even that gives us some kind of reward, and that is progress, right? So in a game, getting back to the game case study, what is punishment then? Remember, games have clear goals, and so we do hard things to move us further to winning the game. I think in Monopoly, it's like the last man standing, whoever owns the board, something like that. You have to own the whole board, right? So that's the goal, and you do things to move yourself closer to that goal. But sometimes you pull a card and it says go directly to jail, right? So that's considered a punishment because it is moving you further away from your ultimate goal. Any punishment in a game is actually that which moves you further away from the goal of the game, right? And another thing about going directly to jail, nobody pulls a card that says go directly to jail and says to themselves, oh man, I'm such a loser, this is terrible, I feel so guilty, I'm such an imposter. Those are real feelings, right? But nobody does that in a game. No, they just go about the business of moving closer to their goal, depending on their new circumstances, which are you're in jail. So what do people do? Whatever you do to get out of jail. In Monopoly, I think you pay some money or roll doubles or something like that. I forget. It's been a long time. But that's what you do. You move closer to your goal. You make progress. You achieve fulfillment. And so my plan for my 90-day challenge is over the next 5 weeks, I'm going to give a series of Facebook Lives. And I'll also go on YouTube and I'll put it in a podcast and such. And anyway, I'll do the lives and explain every step of the way, everything you need to identify your ideal lifestyle and then figure out how to get there in a sustainable way. And if you have any feedback, I'd really appreciate it, because your feedback helps other people. And there's no dumb questions, because your question might be exactly what somebody else needs to ask, but they're too shy to ask. So don't be too shy to ask, and don't be too shy to make a real sincere comment. Don't worry about whether you consider it positive or negative. I'm not looking for strokes here. I'm looking to help you. And if you help me with honest, sincere feedback, especially feedback that starts discussions, then that's just going to make it better, because the mission of this course, the mission of creating this course, is bigger than me. It's bigger than you, because it's going to help a lot of people. There's a lot of electricity around this. Like I said, the people in the pilot group that I've been coaching, their lives are completely transformed. Anyway, Tony Angelini signing off.